I have to wear socks and I'm all dressed for the hot weather and I walk in their house and I'm turned into an iceberg. Anyway, but thank God for air conditioning. All right. So here we are live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. I'm here with Sharon, and we are reading Bill, the Never Forget to Laugh. Oh, and I just see my little grandbaby coming up on one of my memories. I love it when those memories pop up. All right. And she's 5 years old today. 5 years old today. Okay. So we are at the part where Bill has just passed away. Maybe I'll back up a little bit, eh? You see the book on the screen? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm just moving around. I'll read and just give me a minute. I just want to
Okay.
wash my
Well, I'll
hands.
just I'll just read this part. Carol was let's see, not Carol. Judy, was it Judy? Yeah, Judy was getting ready to go to the store. She says, I was having a large group over for the holiday. The tables were all set up, and I had a refrigerator full of food. After breakfast, I decided, however, that I had to go to the market to get some more chicken. Bill insisted I already had enough, but I said, yes, but I'm a Jewish mother and have to have extra. He then announced that he was going for a walk, as was his daily custom, would meet me at the supermarket, and then drive home with me. Since I really didn't have time to shop, needing to tend to the barbecue and other last minute details, I must have responded with a funny look. He apparently noticed that because he said, don't worry, dear. If I'm not there when you're ready to leave, go home without me. I put my arms around him, hugged him really tight, and said, Bill, I'm never going home without you, thinking only from her coarse frame of reference of our returning home together. He seemed perfectly fine, and I didn't connect his comment with any feeling of foreboding, certainly nothing like death. He just patted me on the head. Bill walked out the door to take his stroll while I went downstairs, collected my shopping list, and maybe 5 minutes later got in the car and drove a few feet. And there was Bill, lying on the ground, the paramedics already there. My next door neighbor, a surgeon, God bless him, had been clipping his bushes in the front yard. He saw Bill go down, ran to his car maybe 3 yards away, grabbed his medical kit, called the paramedics, and in seconds was by his side. The whole idea of Bill dying right then and there. My mind raced, thinking about his being alone. All that one thinks when something like that happens. If I had come out 3 minutes earlier, could I have saved him? No, but the doctor was in total control. I'll never forget his kindness. He wanted to know what medicines he might have been on, so I ran to the house, brought out his shaving kit, and he started going through it while still holding Bill. The paramedics wanted to give him oxygen, but the doctor said he was already gone, dead before his head hit the ground. There was considerable blood because he hit the ground so hard, but the doctor thought the cause of death was his heart flowing out. That, of course, is not a medical term, but it did describe the situation. The autopsy later confirmed that Bill's heart had indeed exploded and that he had left suddenly and painlessly. And I think it was like maybe an aortic aneurysm or something that he had. The heart doesn't just explode, but probably that artery, just like what happened with John Ritter. Also, my nephew, that happened to him when he was like 24 years old, and he had been a paratrooper in the in the army, and he was a strong, healthy boy, and he just died in the night. His heart just went like that. So, yeah, so probably that's what it was. So are you back, Sharon?
Yes, you want me to? The thing that I'm seeing here is that this is coming to the end, isn't it? Because he's dying,
Yeah,
right?
but he
Hi,
didn't.
Mickey. McCallie's here too. I'm
Hi,
so
sweetie.
glad. Yeah. So it's like, so the book is actually coming to an end soon.
we're at page 317 and there's like 8 more pages left. So
Wow.
yeah.
Not as long as the other one that you read with Bruce.
Oh no, not at all. That one is like 400. Well, no, yeah, but I mean that's the same thing with Bruce. We read maybe 2 paragraphs and talk about how what first, a lot of what Bruce and I talk about is how we read this book before and didn't really know any of this stuff, even though we had read it. And the other thing being that, seeing how these characters lived out the principles of A Course in Miracles and what
Right.
how they their lives and the effects that they had on people around them. And what I see is such a different picture of uh, Bill than of Helen. And Helen, you know, was a very warm and loving person, and she took a lot of people under her wing. She was very kind. She worked with children, mentally challenged and disability development children. And she was a very compassionate, very loving person. But you don't hear that
No,
in
you don't hear
the
it. You don't hear it
stories
enough.
about
Right.
Helen. You don't hear the heart of Helen. Um,
And the bottom line is that I think you can hear it, but I think we look for unconsciously always the judgment, not
yeah,
that, not the
yeah, the
compliment.
controversy.
Hmm. It's just part of being who we are. It's ridiculous, but it is true.
Yeah,
As people, we can't. Well, just picture if you didn't have the course or any of this, your mind never stops. I have a recollective memory when I was young, when I moved here. I would say if I only could stop my mind, I couldn't even see the trees. That's how many thoughts were in my mind. I just was so like, and my goal was to have all space, and that's what I have. It's like, but if you didn't have this, well, I can tell you right now, I'd be crazy, especially right now, because I'm a very what's the word, as a personality. I tend to want everyone to have everything, and I just whatever. It just
yeah.
is what it is.
Me too. Me too. And you know what, the thing though that Sharon, that really helped me, really helped me was Byron Katie and the whole idea of whose business is it what everybody
Right.
else has. God has his business, they have their business, and I have my
It
business.
doesn't matter. Right. Every one of these teachers has helped us enormously,
Oh, yeah.
enormously. Like there's been so many gifts uh, of God, they're gifts of God that have been given to us from these teachers. I think Katie is like, I listened to her for like a decade. I have all her books and everything. I never did the work there. Did you, Lynn?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yes. I did the work over and over and over. I still have a whole envelope full of those judge your neighbor worksheets.
Oh yeah, I
Because,
did that. I did. Yeah, I did the judge your neighbor in the
well,
beginning. Yeah, I forgot about them, but I
that's
didn't
some of the
like
work.
my friends would get together, and do
Oh,
them. And then they do them in Maureen's things too. Like
they do it on Saturday morning. Elizabeth Keats does it. I'm going to see if she'll come in on a Monday night and
that
we
would be
can go over
fun. I
this.
think what would be so fun is to get somebody like even that does breath work to explain it. But I thought he was great last night because he just had the most beautiful smile.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, me too. I love him. And I'm in a couple other groups with him, and he's just so adorable.
Yeah,
You just want to just give him a hug.
he is
So,
adorable. Oh, Mickey, Michaela, come on. You can read with us. We would love it.
Uh, I just wanted to say hi. And yeah, I really enjoyed the gentleman last night, Lynn. Thank you for hosting him. It was wonderful. And I just want to say in my own life and this uh, about, like, I'm sorry about your nephew and the aneurysm and blowing out his heart, Bill's heart blowing out. But it's we need like the Kundalini, we need magic on the level of form. We really do. It really does help. Like just even, drinking a nice cup of warm tea, chamomile tea, and food. It nourishes, your thought process is better. You're more calmed down. And like you we're just talking about breathing. We need all that to take deep breaths, mindfulness. So all these uh, all these other things are really helpful. Otherwise, you get too much in your head. So
That's right. You do. And when you're in your head, you're it's not the best place to be.
Well, yeah,
It
and
does talk though, doesn't it? Like if you just like watch it, but it only talks when we're listening. That's the whole problem. You got to keep your eyes right on the prize, the piece. Go ahead. What were you saying, Michaela?
what was I saying? You just reminded me of, Lisa Natoli about watch your thoughts like a hawk. I love her, the way she would always say that. And she was on Maureen's Sunday also, Lisa, and she's going to be
Uh,
back. She's going to be doing, I think, a whole series for Maureen. So I'm really happy about that. I'm loving that our community is
merging with others. Yeah.
merging, yeah, connecting more and more. It is lovely. But anyway, I don't remember what my first thought was because I got the picture of Lisa like a hawk in my mind.
Well,
And I,
she sent it out. I didn't listen because I was at the Unity Church, but I will.
oh, yeah. Actually, she sent it. So did you get it from an email from her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was good. It was really good. And I appreciate her sending that out too. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is why we do this. We don't do this so we'll get through a book and know something later. Uh,
Right. Well, we won't even keep the information, we hope. We don't want to keep this information. We don't
no,
want anything. We don't want any thoughts.
only hauling it along with you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that
Nope.
was what I was going to say, something about that, the emptiness or the actual, it's not even emptiness, it's openness. It's like, as long as you're open. Oh my God, have you seen this book by Chuck Hillig about the whole?
No.
Uh, let's see, will we have time? Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go get that book and uh, we can look at it. It is the greatest. You love Chuck Hillig. I mean, we all love Chuck. Um, but yeah, this book, Karen Ann was reading it, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
What
Uh,
is it for?
it's the whole or something. Um, Let me look here.
I don't even know if I know him, Chuck, whatever his name is. I don't even
Chuck
know.
Hillig, I bet you do. I bet, yeah. If you're probably at least friends with him on Facebook. I've interviewed him here before. Um, uh, and yeah, he a couple of years ago he fell and broke his broke his head. But anyway, he's really uh, he's an amazing teacher. If you go uh, living as the source of who you are, that's his um, website. And the book is, wait, I'll tell you what the name of it is. Books in print. It is called Looking for God, Seeing the Whole, WHOLE in One. Looking for God, Seeing the Whole in One. And anyway, check it out. You will you will appreciate it because the way he explains this stuff is so clear. It is just perfect. I don't even know how to explain it other than that. Maybe we can read that next.
I don't know. I thought maybe Sebastian too is good. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what the yeah. If we want to read something, I would like to read another book because I find that it's just something I'm home, so why not be with somebody that I love and just read. I love that. So,
Yeah. Okay. So you want to read on now?
okay, so we are at Whit and I accompanied Bill's body to the hospital where he was placed in a room to be checked over. I called Jerry, Roger, and Francis, and after they arrived, we all stayed in the room with him for about an hour, just saying goodbye, reciting some of our favorite quotes from the course, touching and petting and loving him. I love that. The only picture I carry in my mind is one of love, his face showing total peace as he lay on the table. After all, it was Bill's Independence Day. Next weekend I'm going to be seeing my sister in law, and her son died the same way as Bill. And it's really a gift when you really love someone and they leave the way Bill or, you know, Marie's son left. It's kind of it's a gift just to go, not to have to think of um not to try to think about like suffering, just getting out, just being it's over and there you go, you're done. Your part's played,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Yeah,
It's,
McKaylee has her hand up.
oh yeah, would you want to read, McKelly? Because I would love that if you'd want to.
Sure, I'm off today, so I can do that. But I just want to share that I think that's really beautiful what you just read, Sharon, about them in the room. They stayed in the room with Bill about an hour because some of the beauty of being a nurse, I was able to see that with different religions and how when a patient dies, how the family members or the nuns come in or the monks and they sit around the body. And I remember one patient, she had passed away, and so the nuns were there in the room, and they were saying prayers and kind of chanting for about 2 hours. So that it was really beautiful, and it's a beautiful way to say goodbye to the physical form of the body. It's a vehicle,
Mhm.
right? It's here for our use. It's a communication device. So I like how you read that, and it was very touching that they did that for Belle. So that's all I wanted to share.
Oh, I think that I agree. It's perfect. It's just so perfect. Um, the whole point is that if we could just look at the way they just said goodbye. I mean, think about it. Like, I'm one of these people that cries a lot, so I don't know. But who knows? Maybe I wouldn't. Who knows? Seeing the hole in one, Lynn writes. Yeah. On the way back, I had to go by to tell my mom, who lived a few minutes away. She loved Bill, and they were very, very close. Of course, she had to know, does this mean we aren't going to have his party? She inquired. We looked at each other, and only then did I realize people would be at our house in an hour. Do you believe this? They were coming to celebrate him, and he was gone, right?
Yeah, perfect. They
Some
didn't
lived
have to come
far
back.
away, and there was no way to stop them from coming. So we agreed we would.
Have a wake. Oh, sorry.
You have to move it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would celebrate Bill as that's what he would have wanted. As they arrived, I told each guest about his sudden passing, and of course, all were tremendously saddened. But we did indeed celebrate Bill. After dinner, with ringside seats from the deck of our house, we watched those remarkable 4th of July fireworks, especially gorgeous that night all over San Francisco. No fog or anything. And all I could think of was Bill was going out in a blaze of glory. At the chills. Despite their surprise and grief, many were so amused that Bill left on the 4th of July. So like him, to take even his own dying process lightheartedly. Some might have found Bill's friends a curious lot, as amid the shock of his sudden death, one would hear expressions of elation and delight. Oh my God, he did it! He did it! He's the first person to finish the course, really finish the course, not unlike adoring fans cheering their star quarterback over the goal line. And boy, that was true. He did live this course, he lived it. Some say that it was written for him, too. Bill's memorial service was held outdoors on July 8th, 1988, at the Congregational Church in Tiburon. Panis Angelicus, one of his favorite pieces, commenced the program. Then followed a passage from a tape Bill had created a short while before, perhaps not consciously aware it would be used as his last goodbye. Listening to his beautiful voice, everyone was deeply moved by his final blessing. Tammy, Judy's daughter, chose to be at the crematorium rather than at the church, so he would not be alone. She later confirmed that his body was cremated at the exact moment his taped reading was played. An intuitive, tuned in young woman, she testified that she and Bill watched the service remotely and he was laughing the whole time. Thus ends the earthly sojourn of Bill Thetford. I'm ready to cry. I don't even know why. The calling card found in his wallet had only Bill Thetford printed on it. Just plain Bill. He asked for the course, he received it and used it willingly, stripping himself as his persona, psychological armoring, prestige, unhelpful habits, and presumptions. Throughout the process, he danced, laughed, and struggled, joked and despaired, and supported, loved, feared, and prayed, and steadily forgave his way to the end, soaring to a glorious finale worth of the grandest of operas he so adored. And memories of Bill was settled with everlasting comfort into the hearts of all who knew, loved, and were touched by this most gracious friend. How about it? Anything to say? It's unbelievable. Like he was. They were both treasures to us.
Yeah.
That's a hard book to have digested for them. Being the scribes, because they were both really the scribes, and just the idea that it came through both of them, as far as I see it. Um, it's such a gift.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been able to if it hadn't been for him, actually, because she was so afraid. And so, I mean, he held her hand,
Yeah.
literally held her hand while she
Mhm.
was reading this stuff. This is, what a loving um, tribute. I mean, he what a gift he was for the world,
Yep.
for the world. So that's the end of our book. Is really amazing. I wanted to talk a minute about this couple of other books. This new one from Sebastian, which is called Embodiments of Love. And I'm actually in another group studying this book. so but we could also look through it, humanity in its fullness. And I'll just put on here so we can take a look real quick at these couple of books. um, and really, honestly, it's up to you what this is, your basically your program, even
Well,
though
actually, not. We share this one. It's the one before that.
that's true.
Yeah, so it really is like
Go to the front of this.
I just love to read about love. I mean, what better thing to do right now than to do that? Because our
Exactly.
world is certainly not loving, well, it is actually the real world, but not the not the form.
No, no. So this is embodiment of love, humanity in its fullness. And it's it is a it's about where we're going now. Is
Wow,
it's where we're going now.
that
Uh,
looks cool. That looks cool, and yeah.
yeah, it is really really cool. Um, uh, let's see. He says uh, this is how he gets these revelations. Before the words are given, a sound is present that I would describe as a very strong rumble that crosses the universe, like an infinite number of harps played in unison. There was music, strength, rhythm, beauty, and beatitude. In its presence, the heavens parted, and all creation fell silent in their inner experience of my soul. It is not that the universe is silent before the majestic, sweet, and thunderous word that heaven pronounces, but that the soul, the unique identity that you are, is enraptured, ecstatic with love, and entirely focused on listening. The soul reaches such a degree of awareness of the divine word that its spiritual senses rest on nothing else. It lives entirely for that voice, which it recognizes as that of its divine beloved, its creator, its deepest longing, its love in everything. After hearing the almost deafening music of countless heavenly harps, the sweet voice of love became human words, entirely tender in expression, soft in timbre and color, friendly and perfectly clear. Its presence was accompanied by images of indescribable beauty, which I could see with the eyes of spirit. They brought peace, knowledge, and unparalleled joy to my soul. The voice said, I am the spirit of wisdom that lives in you. Each time that experience came, the spirit of wisdom dictated the words that make up this work. The first time that sweet voice of love spoke, it explained that these writings are part of the continuum of all those received previously, like another step in the portal of consciousness, the path of ascension of our humanity. The central message of this work is that the time of the manifestation of a new humanity has begun and is alive in the men and women who embody love in their humanness. The human and the divine are being reunited in love. They are the pioneers, as is everyone who receives this work, in addition to many other souls who will receive it without being consciously aware of doing so. So, remembering what it is like to live on earth as the embodiment of love that we are and expressing it is what these messages from heaven are about. We are ready. The spirit of wisdom that lives in me and in every living being said so. Why now and not before? We are just emerging from the identity crisis in which all of humanity has been immersed, universally asleep to our true identity. Once we leave this crisis behind, we set out to bear witness to the truth of our being, the love that we truly are. Now is the time for the incarnation of universal love. Now is the time for the second coming, no longer in a single man or woman, but in each and every human being, as well as in every aspect of creation. This revelation is about becoming aware of it and making it a reality here and now. Sebastian Blakesley, Buenos Aires, Argentina. So that's what this book is about. It's about becoming the embodiment of love, humanity in its fullness. So and this one just came out, and like I said, it's just coming out now. It should be maybe today or tomorrow, coming out in Kindle, not in Kindle, in Audible. And so this book here is the other one by Chuck Hillig, Looking for God, Seeing the Whole in One. And this I think might be kind of short. Let's see. Oh no, it's kind of long.
All right,
Uh,
let's see it.
But to everyone who sees that there's nothing to see, who knows that there's nothing to be, and yet who likes nothing better than to pretend that there is. And then in the book itself, there is a hole. I guess the book, the physical book has a hole. Where can I find a man who has forgotten words? He is the one I would like to talk to. Chong Su. And so then this is all about, it's an allegory, right? And so it's all about uh, looking through this hole at everything and recognizing that everything that is in this hole. You can get a piece of paper, cut a hole in the middle of it. And then he does these exercises where you actually go through looking at the world through the hole and recognizing uh, this book is an opening into the empty wholeness of who you really are. In other words, it's a book about nothing, right? Writing such a book, however, is rather problematic, in having to use common words to describe something that is, well, indescribable. You quickly notice their built-in limitations. In short, it's just a lot easier to try to say something about something than it is to try to say something about nothing. Why? Well, the saying something about something approach reinforces and validates our normal everyday consciousness, that there's an actual observer who's making a direct observation about something out there that's actually being observed, the subject and the object. Well, that seems pretty simple. However, when you're trying to say something about nothing, you immediately run into a rather unique problem. Words, by their very nature, can only exist in a dualistic world. For example, we use words to say not only what a thing supposedly is, but also by inference to imply that the same thing is not. Not an apple is an apple. However, when we try to use dualistic words to describe the limitless void, this whole model breaks down completely. Why? Simply because all words belong in and to the realm of the mind. In short, the mind has no possible way to fully grasp the concept of a limitless void in the same way that it's able to grasp the concepts of, say, an obviously limited apple. And so here's the hole. In spite of this, much of my adult life has been spent in trying to express in words what is basically inexpressible. See, how can you, once again, ever really talk about the nothingness? Oh, so how can you, once again, ever really talk about the nothingness of the non-dual void when you're limited by the somethingness of dualistic words? Perhaps, as many spiritual teachers have already pointed out, we're doomed to fail at the very moment that we set out to try to define the indefinable. In fact, there's a lot of recent agreement that the best we can ever hope for, in a sense, is to just keep pointing at the truth. And that is that everything is quintessentially only one. And then to simply encourage others to check out the validity of this paradoxical statement for themselves. But meanwhile, there might be other ways to enhance the effectiveness of this kind of pointing. When you momentarily collapse some of the apparent polarities of the world, for instance, those of right, wrong, good, bad, you might be able to briefly expose those extremes as being not only arbitrary, but really quite illusory. How? Well, such a powerful recognition might be triggered through the sudden realization that all opposites, without any exception whatsoever, are apparently arising spontaneously from the very same source, the void. What do you think about this so far, Sharon? Does this seem, to me, this sounds like you. Are you?
No, I'm here. I do. I love it. Now, here's the thing. It's very simple, and that's what I like about it. The simplicity of a book. At this point, I kind of like the simple. What I mean by simple, it has so much to say with few words.
Yeah, yeah. And really what he's saying here to me is, I mean, that's our dilemma, isn't it? All we have is words, and how can we see this without without the words. So he systematically through this book goes through, and we do exercise, sort of like the headless way thing where you do all the exercises. We do
Right.
exercises with the whole and begin to see, and you will see it really quickly. All you have to do is take a piece of paper, put a hole in it, and look through it, and you will see that everything is in that hole. Everything is in that hole. There's nothing that's not in that hole. So it
It's
really
very clever, isn't it?
is very clever. It's very clever. And yeah, Chuck Hillig, he let me see if I can find it. Let me go to Amazon and find it on there because I have it on the Kindle here, but uh, anyway, actually I could just go look for Chuck Hillig. Yeah, he's a great looking guy too. He was uh why is this not working?
I don't think I ever heard of him.
I bet you have. Um, yeah, Chuck Hillig, and you might even be friends with him on Facebook.
Oh,
He
wait a minute. Spell his name. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me
okay.
see.
I'm just bringing up his Amazon page. Let's see. Is there a picture of him here?
Well, he
Uh,
must be on Facebook, right?
yeah, he's on Facebook. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'm friends with him. I don't even know. Chuck
Oh,
Hillig, you talking about?
yeah, Chuck Hillig.
Oh my God, he's a character. I love that guy. I have his other book. I forget
I'm
which one. Well, he's another one that's on a rampage here too.
yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. So
You know the rampage, right?
you
Oh,
know
I
Chuck.
love him. You know what I love about people like that? They tell the truth, but it's just a lot
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
keep feeding yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I was sure you knew him. I'm like, how did she not know
No,
Chuck?
I know him. I have his first book. Wait a minute. I forget. It's called, let me tell you. Uh, he's very clever and he's a, he's very outspoken about certain things, but I like him a lot.
Well, he was in the Navy um, for many years. I think he's retired from the Navy, and he was somewhere up there in. Uh,
Okay.
so I think he has an
The Seed of
investment.
the Soul, I think he made like let me just see if I have it because I have that book. What? Where is it though? I don't even know. The thing about Chuck is that he's a quiet one. He doesn't teach or anything, right?
Oh no, he has like works. I've seen him. He obviously goes to different conferences and stuff. I've seen him at the SAND conference.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
So
Yeah,
yeah, he but he doesn't set up groups, and I don't think he has a like a what do you call it? I don't know what you call it. Like a community. He doesn't have a community or anything that I know of. He's just a kind of lone
right.
ranger out there.
Yeah. Now
But
I know him from I just know I have his book, but I can't remember. Like I'll just look and see because it's Chuck. I have so many books. I went crazy over the years because I thought every book would help me, and really, you need one. You need
that's
one.
it. Yeah, he's real upset about uh which I am too about what's going on in Gaza. So, and I don't even want to get into that because I'm telling you what, um,
How about it?
all of these things, seriously, you can't look at the events of the world and say, there's victims and victimizers, and there's heroes and there's villains, and there's not if you're studying A Course in Miracles, you gotta okay, you can be studying A Course in Miracles. If you're teaching A Course in Miracles and you're looking at the world and seeing uh, a place where God is not, then I think you need to adjust your vision there. because
Right.
we're not here to point out where God is not. We're here
Okay. Now
to
here's. I have his book. It's called Seed of the Soul.
yes, yeah, that's his, I think his first book. Yeah,
Right. And I talked to him on Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah, he does. He's very. There's a lot of people, Lynn, that are spiritual that are having a hard time with this whole thing.
that's right. I think it's a huge test for us. Honest to God, I think it is just a huge, if there was
Right.
nobody else that it was for, it would be for me to recognize that my quote compassionate heart is not compassionate if I am condemning anyone. If I'm looking at any if I'm
Well,
having
yeah,
any
but
grievance.
that there are times I think when things are shocking that you might do it. I mean, you
Oh,
might,
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
because when you get shocked, it's hard.
That's when you get shocked, that's when you got to go into, okay, what is really happening here?
Right.
Instead of going into the automatic reaction that comes from the mind that has been conditioned to think that things have to be a certain way. It's going into and looking for, there must be another way of seeing this, because there is another way of seeing this, because no one is a victim, no one is a villain. There, this whole idea we have that some people uh, can be that people can be different.
Right. Now we're in this together. We're in this together. None of, we all go home and we all. I like him a lot. But the other one that I like, he's very clever too. Um, is Sebastian's book because it's all love, love, love. Well, they both are really. Are you there? What happened, Lynn? I can't hear. Oh boy. I think
I can't hear either.
no. Oh, good. I'm glad you said that because I thought it was my computer because it looks like it is going to go out.
Yeah, I think she's gone. It just shows Rob. I don't,
That's how quick through the day. I'm reading Nisgurdat Maharaj, and through the day he says we go in and out. We don't even realize it because we're just she
yeah,
might have lost the internet. Right, that's what Robert said. Yeah,
probably did. Yeah.
she'll call. I mean, if she.
Oh,
McKelly, have you been working?
what?
You work full time?
No, I just work part-time. Well, it depends. I pick up because there's, uh, the heat in Arizona, the snowbirds leave, the nurses leave in the summer. So there's just too many patients and not enough staff. So Arizona is
Oh,
very
so you just help out.
bad
Yeah,
help in the summertime because people
it's
leave.
wonderful that you do that.
But no, I only want to work just part-time. I'm getting older, so it's a physical job. So, but
Well, I'm just substituting now. Oh, Lynn, she's calling me. I knew she would. Yeah. Uh,
You're still up and running, right?
yeah. So it was your computer. What do you think it is?
It's my internet, so it'll come back up eventually. Just keep going. You guys keep talking,
All right.
and
Yeah,
I'll be
mine has
back
been
in.
doing funky stuff too. So who knows?
It's the internet. They're doing construction in my area, and they are always messing with stuff. So anyway, I got to go check with them and see when they say it will be back. And you guys keep on because you're still running on YouTube.
Right.
And so
We're running on YouTube. Well, all
yeah,
right.
so the
Okay.
next group will start up and we'll just be fine. You guys can just talk amongst yourself till I come back.
Okay. All right. I'll
Okay.
be here. Okay.
All right, love, bye.
Bye. Okay. So, McCallie, how old are you? Because you look so young.
63 and a half.
So you're the same age as my sister, yeah. Because I'm going to be 71, so it's a big change when you hit the 70s. I will tell you that.
I
But
know.
I work for, oh, he's 82, Robert. Oh my God. God bless you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your physical body. I'm not as strong, I noticed, even though I try to exercise and stuff. I'm not as I was in my 30s, or so you can't, it's you to rest. And that's where the magic that Ken talks about, that you do need, the body has needs, and you need sleep, you need proper sleep.
Yeah, the body is, well, we're in the body. So as long as we're in this body, and we can enjoy it and take all this in. Arizona is beautiful. I was in Sedona years ago. Loved it.
Yeah, Sedona is really nice. That's a majestic place.
But so is every part in Arizona. Well, for us anyway, because I'm from Pennsylvania. So, you know. Well, we can. Do you know how to put a book up? Because I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. You do? You want to put a book up? We
Oh,
can.
I don't know how to put a book up.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't know either. Okay. Yeah, I'm not good at this
Are
stuff.
you reading from a certain book right now?
Well, we were no, we finished Bill's book, and now we're looking for a new book, and then she fell off. So, I mean, we can do it. She said to wait. So I guess what I could do is pull up a Ken Wapnick something, or do you have, I got to tell you, you and Karen, when you share, it is so powerful, your teaching. I love it.
I love that book. That was Ken's favorite book. That
It
one.
was
Yeah, that was his favorite book.
forgiveness in Jesus. Yeah, it has everything in it. I mean, everything you'd ever want to know what he says.
Yeah.
And like you started the path of the young, didn't you?
No, I was introduced to A Course in Miracles in 1991, after my oldest son was born. I was actually given the course in the hospital, which was funny as a gift.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I would have been afraid of it, like back then. Back then I was not as open, like you were how old?
I was 28, so yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You were 28, so you're only like 8 years younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, everything, it's a story, right? It's a script, so it was all written. And uh, so many people, they think the Course in Miracles is a religion, and it's not. It's a tool. It's a tool to be used. So you can go to Unity Church, like you said you went, or you can be Jewish or you can be Catholic, and you use A Course in Miracles as a tool. So
You know what? I stopped celebrating. Well, I celebrate Jewish holidays with my family, but I don't practice Judaism anymore. Ever since I got into the course, I just went full blast into universal principles because it's just easier. I mean, do you practice your religion still?
well, I actually am initiated into Vedanta, and so Vedanta goes back to the Upanishads and the Vedas, which is the oldest books on the planet. And but when you're initiated, so I have a guru, and it's Swami Sarvadivananda. He's the president of the Vedanta Society in Southern California. So they give you a mantra, and I can't say what it is, but when you're initiated, you kind of take vows. And Vedanta is actually very universal, and it encompasses all religions. So it has an altar. They have altars, and they have like it to all religions: Judaism, Muslim, Christianity, Buddhism, and you're supposed to sit quiet morning and evening, which gets you in line with the frequency, the vibration of the planet. And you have you have that mantra that your guru gave you, and it's important because you took your vows, that your instructions are to sit quiet and do your mantra morning and evening. And what that does is it's called yapa. and it quiets the thought process. So it widens the gaps, like on a rosary bead. So it widens the gaps between the thoughts. And and then, you can pray for others. It's if you want to, I do have a prayer sheet and I put people's names down or
Is that the way you were raised? And you saying you were raised with that?
no, no, my dad was born in Punjab and my mom was actually born in Poland in
Okay.
East Germany and during war. And my dad came over here because he wanted to be in the movies.
All right.
Wanted to be a movie star.
Oh, she's back. She appeared. See, I told you. I was reading, Michele, I was reading Nisargadatta's book, and he's saying you go out and in through the day because of the protection. And here she went out.
Oh, I'll tell you, when you're reading the Sargadatta and you come to the understanding and recognition of where he is and where I think I am, or where I think, and actually recognize that there is a place where you can be and be everywhere all at once, and as cognizant in each place as if you were there, like that was the only place you were. That's how he was. He was like, I'm not even really here. I don't even know why you guys are, getting all upset or thinking about this and that and the other thing. He's just so clear. I love him so much. I would love to have met him.
Yeah. Well, he used to fight with Bob. I mean, in Bob's books, he talks about Nisargadatta screaming at him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was not well, I'm sure he got frustrated with Bob, and I know Bob knew why too. So just as he would have been frustrated with me and you as well.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But not because he was frustrated, like he was having an emotional response, but it's just, when he sees us and sees us believing that we're in this pitiful state, I mean, he's like, he has to be,
Yeah.
begging us, just like Jesus in A Course in Miracles. He's begging us constantly. Come on, you guys.
Stop it.
What is going on? Wake up, come home. How long are you going to make me wait? That's what I
Right.
always think. How long do you want to make me wait? And
Yeah.
so it's wow. So I hope you had a nice chat while I was gone. Uh,
Yeah, well, I'm finding out a little bit at Michele. She has a big background into this non-dual world.
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Well,
She's been-
it's interesting what you just said, Lynn, because you know, really that's what, when Ken Wapnick was passing away, they said that he kept reminding everybody, that that we're not really, we're not a body. You're not really here. So he kept trying to remind others because, people were upset and, crying and sad that he was leaving this script dream. And you know, when
yeah.
when I came in contact with Tara Singh and the Course in Miracles, I remember I was in my bedroom and I just want a brief little story. But I was woken up at night and I remember my son was just really young and I was listening to Tara Singh's tapes and started to go to his retreats and his his voice it was so loud. It was in the house and it was towards the front living room and it kept going over on like a recording saying, when are you going to be committed? And it was just looping. And my ego got afraid and I said, oh my gosh, somebody broke in my house. and and they know I'm listening to Tara Singh and they're playing this cassette tape over and over again. When are you going to be committed? Well, nobody broke in my house, and there was no cassette tape, but it was definitely a voice, and so he had projected himself, or not projected, right? Projected comes from the ego, so I would have to say that we can be anywhere. like how you were saying. So obviously, maybe in this script, there's another hologram where Tara Singh and I are together, and like you and Sharon were talking about, he, I didn't wake up in that hologram, and in this hologram, he's saying to me, "When are you going to be committed?" Obviously, that's something that I need to really look at is commitment, and he had come into my dream, and this was real. So he wasn't there in a physical form, but he was definitely there. I heard the voice, and it was loud, and I remember my cat was on my bed, and her ears were up too, so she heard it too.
Wow.
So we can be,
He called on you. I
yeah,
love it.
we can. That's where this you help others by quieting your mind. You can, like, um, I studied pranic healing, and that's where you can actually kind of help your brother, humanity. You can kind of look at their body. They don't have to be in the physical form, and if you have their permission, you can start cleaning their chakras and helping them on the physical form, which then that helps them to slow their thought process down so that they can hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. So that's all that I wanted to say.
Wow. And do you do that for people when you are working as a nurse with them? Um, do any kind of healing modality beyond giving their meds and taking their temperature and all that kind of stuff?
Well,
Uh,
I do home health now, so I just really work with one patient, and
uh-huh.
I try to come to a peaceful state so that that person feels the frequency, the tone. But when I worked in facilities and I had lots of patients as a charge nurse, I think the most I ever had was 36 patients. Yeah, that was too much, way too much. But um, I used to, you would always give them a glass of water because you have to stand there to see that they swallow their meds, because a lot of them will not swallow their meds. They're like,
Right.
"Oh, kill," right? And they'll hide their meds, and then they'll spit it out when you leave. So you have to stand. You're supposed to stand there and see that they took their meds. And I would just try to have that frequency of the water shift to a healing frequency. So when I gave their meds, it was healing to them. So that's all that I really did.
Yeah, because yeah, I would think because like I do the oneness blessing, and I know that anytime I'm working with people, whether they know it or not, I'm blessing them.
I think it's really important. That's something that Tara Singh, coming from, he was a Sikh, so he had a Sikh background. That's why he was so much into. He got us into service.
Right. The Seva, yeah.
But that's what the Sikhs do. They feed the people. They go out anytime there's catastrophe. They're there with food. Um, they're doing service. So that's kind of his background. And he never gave his Sikh background up. He always had that bracelet on. It's like a gold bracelet that they wear. So he always had that on, even when he gave his Course in Miracles uh, retreats. But he taught us that it's important to sit quiet morning and evening, and to be uh, on this level of form, to be with the frequency of the planet. That helps to quiet the mind, and then from there, he had us. We had a prayer list, and sometimes even if you don't know the person's name, but you would pray for whoever life brought you in contact with that day. Even like the Course in Miracles talks about, like, if you run into a child in the elevator, it's not by chance, right? It bumps in,
Right.
and so you would just, when you came to that state, then you would, like you say, bless. You pray for that person, and he would have us do the Lord's Prayer, and you would say, may the Lord bless thee and keep thee, may he shine his face upon thee and bring thee peace. And then, but you really mean it. So first you sit quiet, you kind of, you get yourself to that state where your thoughts are quiet. And then once your thoughts are quiet, then you go and look at your prayer list, and then you say the person's name in the Lord's Prayer.
Love that. What we used to do, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the YouTube here.